everyone. Thanks for coming to my talk. I'm really excited to be here today because my journey with Android started back in high school. So my dad's a software engineer and a huge techie, and his love for Android basically passed on to me because I've only had Android devices growing up. Our quality time together was spent showing each other the cool new apps we downloaded on our phones. So it's not too surprising that in college, I picked up design and development and even created a couple basic Android apps. And in present day, I've worked on Android apps as a UI UX designer at Capital One. So as an Android user, the biggest appeal of Android is how I can quickly customize my device to fit my personal style or brand, changing stuff like the fonts, colors, and icons. While still staying within the guidelines, I can completely change the look and feel of my phone within minutes and give my phone some personality. And as a UI designer, I can now more or less do the same thing. With the release of material theming at Google I/O, it's super exciting since it makes it easier to systematically customize a material theme to fit a brand's unique identity. In my live demo today, I'll show you how to do this using the material theming tools, Material Theme Editor, and Gallery. But first, let's take a quick step back and talk a bit about why material theming matters. I'm sure a lot of you have experienced this. Android apps that pretty much look the same across the board, whether they're stock apps or storage apps. One way or another, customizing and building apps that follow material design can take too much time and effort, sometimes resulting in products that sacrifice a strong brand identity for just getting something out the door. Material theming tools can hopefully transform this into something like this. Each of these beautiful, functional apps expresses a unique brand and stays within material design guidelines. With material theming tools, it becomes possible to both design and develop material themes such as these much more quickly. We can build fast and build beautiful. We can do this with Material Theme Editor. It's a sketch plugin that allows you to take a baseline material theme and customize typography, icons, and colors to create your own branded symbol library. You can essentially edit values in one place and see your changes cascade across your design components. You can then export your designs into another material theming tool called Gallery to help implement them in code. Because I'm a fan of Android, but an even bigger fan of the Disney Pixar movie Up, we'll be using a couple characters from the movie as examples of two different brand identities during our demo. So how many of you have seen this movie? Nice, almost all of you. You guys are all the survivors of the most heart-wrenching 4-minute opening ever. For those of you who haven't seen it, I highly, highly recommend it. So without further ado, let's jump into Sketch and quickly customize material themes. So what I want to do is just show you how to get started with the Material Theme Editor. So after you've installed the Theme Editor plugin, open Sketch and go to Plugins, Material, open Theme Editor. This will show you the themes that you currently have. So what I want to do now is create a new theme. And out of the box, they have a few different templates you can choose from. So we're just going to start with the baseline theme. It's going to ask you to save your theme in a shared location and hit OK. So I'll just call this baseline 2. And so what this is essentially doing is creating a new theme and creating a linked sketch library for your theme. So you can see a few pages here. This material theme page is good for just seeing your theme at a glance, seeing all your theme UI components, typography scale, color palette, etc. But what I found most useful when I'm actually using this plugin is to look at the material components page, which is essentially your whole kitchen sink of all of your theme components that you'll be using to design your app. So in the plugin module itself, you'll see 4 tabs. The first one, you can change your color. So you can change your primary color, and you can use a custom value to like match your brand. And the cool thing is that Material Editor will automatically generate a tonal palette for you based on the color that you choose. Or you can choose from a material, the material color palette. So we can just change this to like a different shade of purple, and you'll see that it changes all of the components in your sticker sheet. You can also select a secondary color and change your theme fonts, as well as the corner style, and download different icon sets. So, another cool thing is that it'll automatically edit the text color based on the color that you choose. So you see here that text color is white and then headline 6. If I change this color to a light color, it'll automatically change the text color so that it's still legible. So now let's switch gears a little bit and edit our own app. So here we have Carl. He's a curmudgeonly, grumpy old man. His brand attributes could be practical, simple, and low-key. So I've already gotten started on creating a couple screens for the savings app. As you can see, it's super simple, does not reflect the brand of Carl. He's definitely not this bright, obnoxious purple and puke green color. And so what I want to do is go from this to something more like this. This reflects Carl's brand more accurately, and all I've done really is just change a few simple attributes like the color and typography, etc. So what I'm going to do is switch to the theme for Carl. So this is Carl's current sticker sheet. Going to need to open Theme Editor again. So what I want to do here is first change his primary color from this purple to maybe this nice blue. It's more muted, definitely not like show-offy or anything like that. And then change the secondary color to brown, I guess, to match his pant color and also still match his brand of being an elderly man. And then for the theme font, I'll change it from Roboto to probably a serif font to match something like newspapers. So let's go with Merriweather. And as you can see, that updated the sticker sheet. For the corner style, Carl is definitely a guy with sharp edges, so I'm going to change this from curved to angled. And as you can see here, that changes components such as this right here and the buttons. And for the icons, icon support I don't think is currently available for the theme editor. I think Google's still working on that. So what I've already done is downloaded this filled icon set and added it to our theme over here so that I can easily import icons. So one more thing. So what if I want to edit my components a little bit more than just the colors and the fonts. So let's go to lists. Say I want to take this list and add a progress bar to it. So what I'm essentially going to do right now is create another sketch symbol. So I'll just duplicate this over here and then detach it from the symbol so that now I can have some more freedom with editing it. And then I'm going to bring the progress indicator from our sticker sheet up. Paste it here, add it to this group. Oops. Sorry. Here we go. Move this down here. And just bring this up a bit. And then I'll also update the height a little bit so that it's more visible. Cool. So that's just a rough edited component. I'll also change the width of this. OK. Now, what I'll do is create a new symbol and name it, just append progress to this so that I can identify it later to enter this into my app. Cool. So now I'll switch back to my app over here. You'll notice that the changes that we just made are not yet reflected in this other sketch file. What we need to do is click on Library Updates Available and Update Components. OK, that's a bit odd. One second. It's possible that because I moved folders and the technical difficulties, things are starting to look a little funky. OK. For some reason, the Carl theme that I just edited isn't showing up. I'm going to do some quick debugging here. Well, I'll just move on from that. What I want to show you now is just to insert components. So say I want to insert another line item here. I can go to Insert. Let's just stick with the fortnightly that it's on. And go to List, 2-line, Meta. And I can just super easily drag and drop components here. So now you can see here on the side that there are overrides that the theme editor comes with. So I can change this subtitle 1 to saving, body 2 to Sunday, whatever, July 29th. And then this is covered by the floating action button, but I'll change the caption to $9. And then you can also change existing components here. So I don't want this heart icon. I can change it to a plus icon here. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Did you need to go through some steps to bring the material icons into the editor here?
Yeah. So right now, what I did is in the theme library, this window, you basically can select any of these, whether you want filled, sharp, etc. It just downloads a separate sketch file. So then I took that sketch file and copied all the icons within it, and then I added it to this theme file over here.
Exactly. Okay. Thanks. So there are some hoops to jump through.
Yeah, I don't think they've fully integrated the icon part into the plugin yet. So after making, so back to this. I want to change this black color to white. So I can go to icon color over overrides fortnightly, and then select white over here, and that automatically updates it. So without the technical difficulties, ultimately we would get to something closer to this, although this is still suddenly certainly not right. But I think you guys saw earlier that this is closer to the theme of Carl, to Carl's brand. We have, like, instead of a round button here, we have a square button to fit his very square face. And yeah, just changing a few values here and there can totally change your app. So I'm going to try to do another one. It looks like this might not. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I have too many copies. So here's the original design that I had for Carl's app. I don't know why this is not working. Okay, that's all right. We'll just move on and go on to our next app. So Doug is completely opposite from Carl. He's basically a super high energy, loving golden retriever. Pretty much exactly what you would expect an energetic, simple dog character to be like, except for the fact that he talks. So like most dogs, he likes chasing squirrels, so we're going to make him a squirrel finder app. And following the brand attributes of being fun, loving, and bright. So this time I'm going to start from scratch anyways. So let's just create a new theme from the baseline and call it Doug. So now we have our baseline theme. What I'm going to do is also just change the colors to match Doug's brand. Let's pick this nice golden yellow. And for a secondary color, I'll choose light pink, since he's a loving dog. For the theme font, I'll choose something that is bold and bright. So I'll just pick Rubik. And for the corner style, Doug's a very round, not sharp at all sort of character. So I'm just going to make this the most curved that it can be. So now we have our sticker sheet. What I'll do is insert components from this new sticker sheet. So I go to Insert, Doug. I'm going to add a bottom app bar with a centered floating action button. here we go. This screen will just show all the squirrels that Doug has met in his app. So I'm going to add a system bar at the top. It's also bright yellow. And then add some text. So then previously, I've been using importing stuff from symbols. But just to add text, I'm going to go a little bit lower to text styles and go to Doug and insert H6 style. And I'll just call this Squirrels Met. Next, I'll add some image lists. So Doug's a fun character, so I'm going to make sure that my elements don't stack super cleanly. So I'll add elements, footer and header, and adjacent. Oh, whoops. Here we go. And I'll just copy these elements over. And the cool thing about these is that these will automatically scale. So I can just adjust the heights of these like so. And then I'll add some pictures of squirrels. Cool. And just for example, I'll change the first subtitle to the date that this squirrel might have been found. So maybe August 12th. Now for the add a squirrel screen, I'll just continue popping in more components. So I'll add another system bar, as well as an app bar at the top. Customize this to say add a squirrel. So this is the squirrel adding page. And I don't need these extra icons on the side, so I'll just scroll down to overrides, icon 1, none. Change all of these to none. And then change this menu icon to an X button. Cool. And now I just can insert a couple input fields. Paste that right in. And also edit the labels. So input text can be squirrel, and the label can be name. Assistive text. What do you want to call this squirrel? And you don't need an icon. So just to move a little bit faster, I'll also just add my last thing, a button. Paste that right in. Can easily change the width. And make this save. Cool. So there's my super quick squirrel finder app. As you can see, it's completely different from our Carl app. And for both of them, I just changed colors, typography, and the border radius. And I have two totally different apps, even though I started from the same baseline theme. So now, hopefully, now you all know how easy it is to customize material themes with Material Theme Editor, and maybe see the potential for how this tool can potentially transform your workflow. With the help of Material Theme Editor and Gallery, I think we're a step closer toward bridging the gap between design and development. I'm personally really looking forward to seeing how these new tools grow and develop. And with that, I invite you to try out these tools for yourself. I'm really excited to see what you guys create. Thank you. Yeah. I don't have internet access right now, but what I was going to show after the Squirrel app, so I can select these screens right here, and then go to Plugins, Material, Upload to Gallery. And then you can enter your project name, collection name, and then hit Upload. And then it'll upload it to a separate tool, web tool called Gallery, where you can basically collaborate with your team, and developers can see the red lines. And another cool thing is that you can click on a component. So for example, I can click on this input box here, the squirrel box, and in Gallery, it'll show a link to the developer documentation in GitHub. Yeah.
So, trying to connect the dots. So, what you end up with here, is it a set of like XML files that you could have built by hand the old-fashioned way in your Android app, and you would have these things? Or what do you have when you end up with strictly a mock-up? And then developers will take that and know what they need to do to build the XML files and actually drive it?
Yeah, so when I export these to Gallery, have you heard of a tool called Zeppelin? Zeppelin?
No.
Okay.
My ignorance is profound.
So they won't be XML files, but they are static mockups, basically, that using the Gallery tool, you can click on separate elements, and it'll display like the spacing that you need to create this, the code that, as I was telling him earlier, to create that specific component.
So you have the raw information that you need to build the actual XML.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm raising an email and I'll stop you. I'll never start to stop, but we'll get more into it. So I've already created the Android UI library,
Mhm.
essentially. And I've actually played with the theming for the Android Summit app, but I'm curious what direction makes sense to go if I wanted to create the Capital One East Android experience.
Mhm.
Do I take the UI and do I basically start with the baseline and modify that to go back towards the East? Or, and maybe this is more of a discussion offline, but kind of figuring out what's the right path, whether moving one way or moving the other.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something we can kind of.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that's something I'll have to noodle on a bit more.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. So I think that's it. Oh.
Once the mock-ups are done, and you mentioned the Zeppelin tool,
Mhm.
what tools are available out there for the dev teams to be able to take these and possibly automate some of the steps to go from the designs to the actual implementation of them? Are there any?
Excluding Gallery?
Does Gallery export raw XML files?
No, I don't think so.
It just gives you the specs you need.
It just gives you the specs.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. I'm asking, is there a tool out there that will make that next step, that take those specs out of Gallery and actually create the XML for you?
I haven't fully played around with Gallery, so maybe it can help provide all the attributes for you too to get that XML file.
And the reason for the question is,
Mhm.
if we can come up with a way to improve communication between the dev teams and the design teams, we can
Mhm.
I think, get to the point where we're not spending as much time, asking questions that could more easily be answered with a straight export import, right?
Mhm.
And then focus more on the actual user experience of this.
Yeah, exactly. I think Gallery is getting closer to that, but I don't think it's quite where what you're talking about. There's also material components, but that's more of a developer thing, so I haven't looked into that. Cool. So thank you all.